I just came back from the Pokémon and Natural History Museum pop-up shop in London. For the uninitiated, let's read this press release copy. The Natural History Museum in London and Pokémon are combining their shared admiration for the natural world and its creatures, from evolution to environment, in an upcoming exclusive pop-up shop. What that really means is that the museum's Cranbourne boutique, named after the meteorite ever so delicately slapped in it, was transformed into a micro shop full of exclusive merch themed around Eevee, a variety of grass and nature-themed Pokémon, and art featured in this book. Pokécology, an illustrated guide to Pokémon Ecology. If you know anything about me, which you really should, I'm like, cool. I love when games explore their worlds authentically and realistically, so an officially produced guide like this was something I have been backing all the way ever since the book's Japanese release was announced. Shout out to my friend Shika for grabbing me a copy in Japan for Christmas, by the way. That was very nice of her, and I did not cry! I did not! To really appreciate my trip, you should probably get at least a little acquainted with this book, which is going to be released in English pretty soon. Pokécology is low-key exactly what it says on the cover. This book explores Pokémon through the lens of real-world ecology, the study of organisms and how they interact with their environment. The book was written by Yoshinari Yonehara, an ecology and animal behavior specialist who has been credited in helping with Pokémon Legends Arceus and Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. It features poppy, detailed illustrations by Chihiro Kinoshita, who, as well as being a talented artist, specializes in marine biological research. With Big Pika's blessing, the book was released in June 2025 to great reviews, and is a truly masterful way to not only learn more about your favorite Pokemon, but they use real-world influences and biologies to make these creatures feel just that bit more real. Truth is, this collab with the Natural History Museum was the perfect storm to not only promote the 30th anniversary, but give a little advertising nudge to the English release. The exhibition would feature Kinoshita's art and exclusive excerpts from the official translation. Yeah, I had to go. But in order to go and have a lovely day out with my partner, we had to get tickets. Yeah, that was a trip in of itself. At least they were free. See, ticket systems aren't exactly optimized for the level of digital foot traffic events like these bring in. Moreover, I missed the first drop. That one's on me. I'll take that one. After signing up to get email notifications for the very earliest wave of tickets set for late January, because I wanted to go for my birthday, I missed it. I had a nightmare day at a job I don't have anymore, so I had to wait for the next wave. When that came, they extended the dates at least. Fair enough. With the bad experiences I've had with intense online queues, this would at least mean more people will be happy. And hey! It meant I was more likely to be one of those people. This was followed by a carpal tunnel-inducing sequence of events where I painstakingly clicked away at my 4 devices to try and get my approximately 10-minute, but I'll be damned if I don't make the most of it, time slot. Everybody? We got 'em. And then they added more time slots. We don't talk about those. Months pass. I undeniably got a fair bit of FOMO from every creator and post I saw going since the launch week in January. You know, when my birthday was. But I was patient, and just like that, the week arrived. My partner and I finally got in the car to drive to London town and see the big old building where Pikachu was. During the drive though, I realized one thing. I had no idea what was left. Listen, I've been burned too many times by these kinds of things. I'm not someone who sets up bots or has the privilege of dropping everything at the drop of a hat to hit the latest drops or earliest time slots, so I am more than used to dealing with slim pickings and still making the most of it. My priority with these kinds of days out is always making sure my partner and I have a good time. Which usually means not getting up so early that we're zombies walking about the halls, and we're not getting home so late that we're zombies that shouldn't legally be allowed behind the wheel. But that didn't mean I didn't want a little something. Our slot for the pop-up was at 2 PM, in pretty much the last couple of weeks before the pop-up would close. So yeah, fate might have it that all that was left was a few victory bell pins kicking the corner, and nothing on the fly trap, but it's not a cute notebook now, is it? But that's jumping the gun. We had to get there first. So we parked up at a lovely little grayscale place called Woolwich, and did what Londoners do. After about an hour of that, there we were, standing in front of the Natural History Museum herself, basking in front of all of her stolen and contractually agreed upon riches. What we didn't quite account for, though, was the sheer amount of children and international families making the most of their Easter breaks. Oh look, happy mini eggs. But to avoid staying in line for about 2 hours according to the friendly, kind, lovely staff, all I had to do was log on to my e-ticket account and show the friendly, kind, lovely staff our booking, so we could skip the line and head straight in. Access denied. Access denied. And you're ugly. Well, that wasn't necessary. Luckily, I only had a slight panic, because the friendly, kind, you get the picture, staff said my email receipts should be good enough for at least avoiding the infinity train we had going on behind us. We made our way, not at all smugly, that would be rude, and I'm a delight, and we were welcomed by the orb. Oh, there's the sign. I thought in order to make sure we would get checked in properly, I'd go over to ask if there's anything they can do about our ticketing problem. The Pokécology gatekeeper took a look at my phone, took a look at my face, clearly saw I was a delight, and said, "You're good," and just made a note of my name for when we'd come back in line later. They were really strict, it seems, on timing, only taking people for the allotted time slots pretty much as the time came. Probably a well-oiled machine at that point, after the horrors. I wonder how their therapists are doing. Anyway, we had about 15 minutes to kill, so we went around the place and looked at rocks. But I won't bore you with those details because you're probably just waiting for me to talk about the exhibit at this point. It's been 5 minutes and don't worry, I know you. We got a drink first though. Stay hydrated. When the clock struck 2, we were already in the queue. I was even holding the book in just sheer anticipation, taking my first steps into the exhibit. Cozy. Oh well, I said I wanted to make the most out of it, and I sure did, even if it meant confusing people who were clearly just in line to shop. My partner wanted to read every single panel and take it all in. And of course I was going to join him. Of course I was a nerd and compared the prints with the book. Of course I was a geek and actually took in the little animal facts. Of course my eyes had a little glimmer when I saw the smallest little piplup. Little pup. I understand that at the end of the day, they clearly didn't have the floor space for something a bit grander. And the priority was clearly the shop, as it was after all, a pop-up. But looking back, I am just a little disappointed that the art exhibition spanned all of what? Half a corridor? Oh look, a consumerism. Moving swiftly into the shop area, I came in wanting one thing and one thing only, the EV notebook. I'm not exactly well off, and I'm trying to cut down my merch shopping, so that notebook was my only planned purchase of the trip. However, I was pleasantly surprised by just how much stock was left. There was still plenty of handbags, shirts, totes, pins, posters, well not all the posters, but most of the posters, and of course, those notebooks to go around. Having hands-on contact with all of it, this was all seemingly pretty premium quality stuff. They all felt robust and absolutely worth the price as long as you'd look after them like a responsible grown-up. Yeah, so my notebook got scuffed in my bag. That one's on me. I'll take that one too. It's a shame, but hey, the mug I bought was fine, and now I'm a bit more likely to actually use this thing. We all know what I mean. My partner picked up this Pikachu tote and the pop-up's key art on a mug. That way, between us, we'd have different ones to choose from when it's his turn to make the tea. Again. I'll do it next time, I promise. With all we wanted to get in our basket, our time was over just like that. We paid what we had to, and got the cute little guide that I'm too good to use, and a Pikachu at the Museum jumbo card. Loads of local game stores have been able to give these out in the UK, but I hadn't managed to get one yet, and it felt really cool having the privilege to get one from the pop-up itself. As we left, we had to check out this beautiful diorama in all its glory, featuring some of the art from the book as sculptures, all cohesively and in pristine craftsmanship. It was so sweet seeing the kids and families find all the little details when it dawned on me. I did not sense any scalpers. After going to cons and card shows and official Pokemon events and sometimes getting the ick from the corner of my periphery, it was kind of sobering to not have to worry about that energy being around for once. Well, this was in its final weeks, so at the very least, that was one more thing that made the trip worth it. And it was a pretty good trip. Now what do I really think of the whole shebang? Well, yeah. I just kind of wish it was bigger. You could have had more of the book to show off. Heck, as of recording, the thing is out this month, and I couldn't even see a real ad for it. But who am I to tell the Natural History Museum and the Pokémon Company International where to put visual real estate? I like the pages they did choose to show off for the exhibition though. But I think using the space for some of the smaller panels rather than 4 massive big ones would have shown off what the book's full scope was a bit better, without giving too much learning away for free. And when it comes to the merch, I liked the variety for most of it. However, as much as I do love this Eevee design, I do wish there was maybe one more design to choose from. The room was half full of this design, and I'm just being picky because I like art and graphic design. None of that can really take away from the fact that I did just have a really good day out. The museum itself is gorgeous, and just being there felt invigorating. I'm happy with the bits and bobs we got, and it reignited a bit of a creative spark in me. Maybe you'll see what that means for you at some point. So, if you weren't able to go to the museum, what did you think of what I was able to show you? I know I'm late on the content train on this, but being able to go is a privilege, and I'm glad I could share what an event like this was like after most of the hype died down. As you could see, it really didn't. If you were able to go, did you have a good time? What did you get? What else do you want to see in the future? Let's have a chat in the comments below. If you want to make me smile today, you can support me by liking the video you've just watched, or on Ko-fi, where you can not only donate, but download my book of Pokemon-inspired legends, Tales Once Lost, for completely free. Follow me on social, subscribe to see what I get up to, and maybe, just maybe, we can see each other again.